Hey guys, now we all know America's going nuts, but this is just ridiculous. It really is. I mean, let's have a look.
All right, here with me to discuss this, Gregory Bovino, Border Patrol Chief for the El Centro sector. Now, Chief, it's good to see you tonight. Have there been any arrests in the attacks on your agents? Because
Look at
when
them
I see
throwing
this
rocks,
video
look.
of them hurling these rocks, and this
That's
isn't the
just
first
ridiculous.
such video we've seen since these protests began, this is criminal activity putting individual agents' lives.
They're putting the agents' lives at risk. Now, I know what these agents are doing, people aren't agreeing with, right? Which is fair enough. I'm not one to say anything. But the fact they're hurling rocks, what are these guys? I mean, all the news will start going nuts if these ICE agents opened fire on these guys. They're like, oh, all these protesters have been shot dead for no reason. They won't say that they was hurling big rocks at the poor agents.
Directly at risk. What can you tell us?
Sure. Laura, it's good to see you, and thank you for having me tonight.
Look.
As far as the arrests go, we've made dozens of arrests during Operation at
That's
Large,
criminal
which is
damage.
the operation here in Los
Look, he's
Angeles,
putting his bike
the
in the
immigration
way.
operation. We've made dozens of arrests, and most of those arrests are for assault or impeding federal officers. That's a serious crime, and some of these folks, when they're arrested, are looking at some pretty serious time in prison.
CBP released this
That's
image
ridiculous.
of 9 juveniles who were found at this marijuana facility. One is as young as 14 years of age. What do we know about them? Were they working at the facility? Were they hanging out? Do we have any idea who their sponsors were at this facility run by this company called Glass Houses?
Sure, Laura. The juveniles that you see in that picture, several of them are not sponsored. Several came across the border, at least under the research that we found a few years ago, and they disappeared. You talked about the children that disappear. These are those children that have disappeared. The 300,000 children that have disappeared. You're seeing it real time right here. This is what is happening to some of those children. I believe one of the children may have been, at least at this point in the investigation, accompanied, but the rest that you see in that picture were unaccompanied juveniles, including that 14-year-old. What happens to these children? Where do they live? And what conditions are they put under, both at work and then when they're not working? A lot of questions here. This is something that the Border Patrol has seen over the past 4 years when millions streamed across that border. Let me say that again. Millions streamed across that border, including children. Some of the things that we saw on the border were truly reprehensible. And now that we're in the interior,
well, one of my sources
conducting...
Look at the tear
Go
gas,
ahead.
look.
No, I'm sorry. One of my sources today in the federal government told me, look, remember that the money made at these farms or processing plants, remember, especially involving recent migrants, people who've crossed the border in the last few years, underage or not, a percentage of that money they're making, whatever they're making, is going to pay off their debt to the cartels who made sure that they got over the border. So these illegal pot grows and other agricultural interests are helping fund the cartels that are terrorizing America with drugs and also engaged in rampant human trafficking.
From what I can gather, I don't think, I mean, obviously the cartels have just got so much money, it's ridiculous. Because they've been funneling money through from America, from various parts of the world, since the late 1970s, the 80s. It started off this, you got your classics, your Pablo Escobar. You've got your El Chapo. Now, these people weren't just trafficking a little bit. You're talking hundreds of billions of dollars worth of marijuana, cocaine, you name it, they was probably trafficking it across. They was finding ways. El Chapo was digging tunnels from Mexico through under the wall to America. So they don't know exactly how much money that the cartels have. It's a ridiculous amount. So the little amount that they get through, I think, say this child labour, they don't need that. It's just the fact they do it because they can. That's all it is. They do it because they can, I think. This is just my opinion. If you think I'm wrong, let me know in the comments, guys. But this is it. And the fact that all this is going on in America and in Mexico, you've got them basically throwing out white people, saying if you're not Mexican and you can't speak Spanish, you're not allowed to stay. It's just got absolutely batshit crazy in America, both the North America and South. And I'm not being funny, I'm in the UK. It's just as bonkers over here, if not worse. I'm telling ya. Some of the things that they're putting in play over here, you'd laugh at. Like I am, you'd shake your head and you just wouldn't believe it. You really wouldn't. It's a joke. It really is. And I can't, nothing's going to be better, you know, and it's only going to get worse. We're never going to be able to return to normality. That's not going to happen. So what are we going to do? And I reckon, and I watched an interesting podcast yesterday, which I will be putting snippets of it up. And within this podcast, you have got Anne Jacobson, who is a journalist and an author of, like, she loves things to do with, like, nuclear war and just everything that goes with that. Yeah, she's talked to generals, she's talked to members of the former members of the White House. She has talked to soldiers. She has talked to so many people about just what nuclear war would entail. And literally, it would not take long. It would literally take 76 minutes. And that'd be it. The world's gone in 76 minutes. Now let that sink in. 76 minutes. There's only 60 minutes in an hour. So 76 is an hour and 16 minutes. Gone. And from the looks of it, we're on our way there now. You know, it's just, the world is just going nuts. It's collapsing. Country after country is going absolutely nuts. And yeah, if you think I'm wrong, let me know. Let me know. I'm going to stop this here. There's no point going through it all. That was just a little bit I wanted to show you. But yeah, it's just getting worse in America. And it's getting worse over here. And I'm going to do little documents of it, every little bit that I can. You know, so as well as that, I'm going to be putting other videos up as well for your enjoyment. And I hope to see you on them. So I'll see you next time.